Today was a very busy day, so I didn't have much time for video, but I wanted to take the time to talk about my Olympian recommendations, or whatever you want to call them, my endorsements for this year. So, first of all, any endorsement that I made last year was rerunning still stands. And there are also people outside of the people that I will mention here that most certainly deserve a shot. For example, just to think of two people that are in this list as well. There's Defiant Pride and Whiskey Room, which I'm sure would do a great job as well. But I prioritized on three people that I think will help the game in different ways, have different approaches to that, and have convinced me personally, either intentionally or unintentionally, that they are good fits. So the first one is one that maybe didn't even know that I was planning to go there with this. So I posted on Twitter that I was wondering who of the Olympians even knows about the situation in Oceanic or in international regions in general. And I got quite a few responses to that from people that are running as Olympians, and some good ones, but one stood out to me more than the rest, and that is Conwag. And Conwag, I think, overall, without knowing all too much about him beforehand, is now one of my favorite people to apply in terms of what I think he can bring to the Olympians. I think one of the things that for me personally is very important is that the people that end up there are not just sucking up to Hi-Res, because I think that's against the purpose. I want people that can stay critical to some degree and at least voice their opinions. And I think he will fulfill that from what I can see so far. And also people that have ideas, which areas they want to see improved, without being like, I want to focus on everything at once and I want to push exactly these goals, because realistically, that's never going to happen. It's Hi-Res, you there as an Olympian, you're giving some insight, but you're not going to steer the entire boat of the company around. So Conwag has multiple points that he addresses in here. The main point for me on one hand is he talks about spectator specifically. That he says if there's one feature that he could improve, it would be spectator. I think that is an issue that, you know, is for all any like more casual tournament, any content creator, any coach, any pro team. This problem is a persistent one, and I think someone that again is focused on that and has ideas for that is very useful. And on the other hand, he wants to push conquest in international regions, and we talked about some more approaches that afterwards that were not in here yet because this was written a while ago, but essentially try and get multi-queue into the not so popular regions, into the smaller regions, and everything else that would really help those regions. And playing in one of those regions, that is very important to me personally, and I would very much appreciate anyone that ends up supporting this in one way or another. And yeah, lets us play more than two modes. And yeah, outside of that, he has some more insight here in how he feels about that and what he's doing and everything. So Conwag has been in the Smite scene for a very long time. He's been playing since 2013, and he has been a coach for SML teams, I think, and SEA teams as well. So he knows the game on a relatively high level of play. I think he's also Masters. I think he mentioned it somewhere here as well. But yeah, he definitely has experience in multiple aspects of the game when it comes to higher levels, while generally I think still being, you know, your normal ranked player. So he has a good insight in all aspects, and I think that's very relevant as well when you want to have someone talking to the devs from the standpoint of players, while some other people that are maybe relatively low elo or are basically pro are often a bit more disconnected from what most of us want. He also made a tweet longer that I will link here as well if you want to read some more about his ideas. He has some more stuff surrounding that he mentions, like, for example, also certain things regarding trolls and stuff that have an impact on ranked as well, and bug fixes and promotion for content creators, for streamers. So plenty to go through here, and I think At the same time, it's not overwhelmingly much where you're like, okay, he just doesn't have a clear goal or something, but enough for me to say he's covering a broader field and he's looking at the bigger picture. The next person is Okami Leon. Now, Okami Leon has a text that is maybe somewhat similar to many others here, talking about how he wants to make the new player experience better, bring them to conquest, and improve the learning tab in the process, and that kind of stuff. The difference with Okami Leon compared to many others that have written similar things is that he makes guides, and he talks about this here. He has been playing the game since 2016, or he has been following the game since the beta, and he's racked up a lot of hours. I think he has like 3,000 hours now, and is also Masters in Conquest at this point. Works very directly with the pros to make guides for Soul Lane cards at the moment. You may have seen some of those yet. Very good written guides that go over every detail. I can highly recommend them. And I will talk about those guides more in the future. I just didn't get around to it before this competition. And I think he is the one, when it comes to this whole introduction to new players and helping players improve, that has the best angle on that, because he has worked in this field himself, very much unpaid and very much voluntarily. So I think he has a good grip of that, and that is why I endorse him as well. And the third person is, to no one's surprise, Alpha Jackal. Alpha Jackal is running again. After last year, he ended up being a coach and couldn't stay an Olympian, but was an Olympian at the start of the year. And much like before, I have much faith in his position as an Olympian, in his work as an Olympian, as somebody who is also able to stay critical to some degree, somebody who stays level-headed and understands which feedback is important when given to them and which feedback is maybe something that isn't very beneficial for high-res in the bigger picture. He is specifically talking about the Loki rework here, which I think a lot of people are interested in. And he's also talking a little bit about the state of the SPL and the situation for the players, which I think he has more insight in. And I think it's good to have that one person in there that has a better take on that, which I think most other people don't really offer to the same degree. While I know that Alpha Jackal is also not completely disconnected from other levels of play. I mean, he himself is not a super high-level player, so he knows the casual side of the game as well. He knows the ranked side of the game as well. And I think that, again, gives him a lot of insight, and at the same time, he understands a lot about theory crafting. He understands a lot about the items, and with Flare-Boot not running this year, he is, in my opinion, the best fit to keep a theory crafter in there to some degree, even though that's maybe not his only role at this point. And yeah, he has his own little text as to why he wants to be an Olympian, and he's talking again that he wants to build this connection between players and the team of Iris developers. And other than that, just mentions again his experience in the Pro League, and mentioned how much support he got last year, and he's been playing Smite for 7 years as well, so he's definitely been in the game for a while. So those are the three people that I endorse. I should at this point probably address again why I am not running. Much like last year, I think for me it would not be the right fit. Last year I said I get the same benefits anyways. That is no longer true. But I think as a content creator, I don't have enough time to focus on community feedback and to bring that forward to high-res in a manner where it would be helpful. And I don't want my Twitter feed clogged up with constant requests either. I just want to be able to focus on talking about the game. And I also do not want to sign any non-disclosure agreements that would prevent me from talking about data mining or similar things. So I would rather pitch to the Olympians myself and forward issues to them, and have others take on this work and take on any prestige that comes with it at the same time. That's my personal take. Those are my endorsements. Again, Alpha Jackal, Okami Leon, and Conwag. You can find them all if you just search the names on the list, because there's a lot of people to go through otherwise. That's probably just the easiest way. And yeah, you can let me know in the comments down below what your picks are. And other than that, I hope this was, well, interesting, insightful, I guess. I don't know. I hope this was answering any questions regarding the Olympians that you may have had. I'm going to bed now because I'm very tired. And with that, thank you guys very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the sub button and maybe the bell, so you stay updated for the upcoming Season 7 stuff. I have some really interesting stuff in the next 2 days. I think that's it. DukeSloth, out.